One thing I'd like to say before we begin, when you are adding and subtracting, the big difference with addition and subtraction compared to what we have done before is you are not going to factor things at the beginning. Even though you may be able to factor some of the pieces to start with, you are supposed to add and subtract whatever you can add and subtract first. So, let's first understand that we do have a common denominator, so we should not be changing that. It will still be 3x squared minus x minus 2 when we do our subtraction here. Can someone give me what the numerator should be if I am supposed to be subtracting in this problem? So we did 2 addition examples. We are subtracting here, which is going to be a little bit different. Dylan. 3x plus 2 is correct. 7x minus 4x, those are my like terms. That's how I got 3x. 5, positive 5, minus positive 3 gives me a positive 2. So really, this is the same idea as combining like terms, which we've done before. Question? Okay. Now, this unfortunately is not a final answer. Now, we have seen this before when we see regular fractions. You've added, you've subtracted, but when you're done with that, what are you usually asked to do with fractions for a final answer? Simplify, or sometimes reduce. The same thing happens here. Yes, we correctly subtracted, but is there any way for us to simplify or reduce this? We don't know for sure until we factor it. So we will have to do some factoring. Can someone raise your hand and tell me what I'm going to do to factor in this problem? Anise? I've already done the subtraction I need to do, so I'm not going to subtract anything else. I want to factor something, which means I'm either looking for what they have in common, or I'm using X method. So can someone give me an idea of what I'm going to do in this problem? Brenna? Where? Right, the denominator requires me to use X method. So, I'm going to keep this 3x plus 2 on top. 3x and 2 don't have anything in common, so I'm going to leave it alone. But on the bottom here, 3 times negative 2, I am multiplying to make negative 6. B is negative 1, so I'm adding to make negative 1. And last week we had a lot of people forget this part. A is 3, so my denominators are 3's. I need 2 numbers that will multiply to make negative 6, but if I add them, they will make negative 1. Athena? A negative 3 and a positive 2, which means this reduces to negative 1 over 1. So, if I put these 2 new binomials in, I have 1x minus 1, and I have 3x plus 2. So now that I have gone through, I did my subtraction, I factored what I could factor, I now ask myself, is there anything that I can cancel out? This is my reducing, this is my simplifying that we would normally do at the end of a problem. Eli? The 3x plus 2 cancels top and bottom. There is nothing left on top, so what do we put?
1.
A 1. On the bottom, I have x minus 1. That is my final answer. So the process here is to do the subtraction first, factor anything that can be factored, and then cancel what we can cancel to see what we have left at the end.